and continue to collaborate. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you're part of that journey, that 9-year journey that we've been on. So we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you as well, man. It's always great collaborating with you. Yeah, it's always about those stories that you would never even think could happen when you start something like this, right? It's not. I mean, the 100K is amazing, but also those stories are so amazing as well. Just the people you meet and the connections you build.
Yeah, for sure, man. So
I can't wait. I can't. Are you gonna put the plaque back there though? You gonna put the plaque?
The plaque, yeah. We gotta find room for the plaque, man. The plaque is definitely going up. As soon as I got to figure out the application process and all of that, but the plaque is definitely going up. You already know. So we will have our own banner. So the Knicks are not raising the NBA Cup banner. We will be having a ceremony to raise the plaque up there. So to definitely show our people, our fans, the appreciation. So shout out to everybody on the KFTV side. We are simulcasting on KnicksFanTV as well. So shout out to everybody watching. All right, Combo man, let's get into it, man. It's been an interesting year around the NBA. So I wanted to start off with one of our top 5 stories, and that is a potential new league, man. And someone like you who's played international ball, the NBA and FIBA talking about another league, collaborating on a new league set to take place in October 2027. What did you think about this potential partnership between these two powerhouse entities here, man?
Yeah, I love it. I think David Stern 20 years back talked about that. He thought there'd be an NBA in Europe, and I think this is the first step towards that. I think inch by inch, step by step, there will be NBA teams in Europe, and this is just the first step of it. It won't be like that right away. One of the 48 laws of power, right? Like, you don't try and take over everything right away, right? Like, yeah, we'll collaborate we'll do this, we'll do that. But eventually there'll be NBA teams in Europe, I believe.
It's interesting because obviously you have two dueling entities in Europe, right? You have the EuroLeague, and then you have the FIBA, which is kind of more national focused, but also has their domestic leagues and domestic teams. And over the years, you've had teams that have gone and played into both leagues, but never both at the same time. And one of the contentions has been between the relationship. The points of contention with the relationship between EuroLeague and FIBA is that when the FIBA events and games are taking place on a national scale, it might be watered down competition because those players are more shifted towards that EuroLeague and kind of prioritizing there. So I'm wondering if this new collaboration, bringing the NBA on board, is FIBA way of saying, hey, now we've got a little bit more muscle to overtake the EuroLeague. And, with the NBA powerhouse and marketing engine, maybe that's what they need to kind of take that over and get some of the more upper echelon teams into that league, because they're talking about teams like Real Madrid, who plays in the EuroLeague. They're talking about Barcelona and also Bayern Munich. All those teams play in the EuroLeague right now. So it'd be interesting to see, like, if they get the NBA on board, is that going to be the shift that FIBA's looking for?
Yeah, that is interesting because EuroLeague has always been the best league outside of the NBA. So it's going to be interesting to see if there'll be a shift there. And some, money talks, right? Like the best teams, the best players might shift over with this new NBA collaboration.
Yeah. And if the people knocking it, like it's a money grab, it's just that and the third. I mean, I would just say this, like every commissioner in every sport, their main goal is to move the sport forward, build and get and increase revenue. They're a CEO, just like any other CEO for any other business. The name of the game in this capitalistic society we live in is to get more money. You know what I mean? And broaden your brand. And so I could see this where, the interesting thing is that when the NBA first started, and you have the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the Jordan era Magic, the Dream Team, it was all about mostly our U.S. born players being ambassadors to the game internationally. Now you have it where it's almost like the international stars are now dominating the game in terms of the superstars going back to Europe to broaden the game. It's such an interesting dynamic of how things have changed over the years, because now it's the Jokic's, the Wembys, the Lukas, SGA, hey, he's Canadian, right? Like, it's those guys now that will be relied on to kind of build out this new faction. So very interesting from that standpoint.
Yeah, I think it all started really in like Barcelona in '92, right? Like all those players in Europe, like seeing what the NBA's best was all about and competing against them and learning from them. And then now, like, the way we teach skill development in America, this is a whole other story. It's like, I don't know if we're really doing it the right way like they are in Europe. You know, like, they're teaching kids pick and roll at 10 years old, and we're not. We're going, like, in your James Harden, Kyrie Irving bag. This is a whole other tangent, CP, but we got to work a little bit different here. We got to work a little bit different. That's another conversation for another day.
Yeah. So I do wonder. Obviously, you know they're gonna be bringing the stars over there. That's automatic. That's just automatic. But I still do wonder: is that enough to gain momentum with this league because of EuroLeague standing? Like the NBA right now, like, the individual players are certainly beloved and have stature in Europe, but does the NBA have that type of pull to say, all right, if we just do this new league, that's enough to really rocket us to the top?
Well, so it'll be like if the FIBA and NBA collab and they're kind of competing against EuroLeague, they'll have the money and the marketing, but EuroLeague will always have the roots. You know, and they'll still have the roots, and it'll be interesting to see that conundrum and how that goes against each other. Yeah.
The team you played for, where were they in, like, the whole FIBA hierarchy?
Well, I did play 10 years, so I played for so many different teams, but the biggest club I actually played for was Hapoel Jerusalem, which is the Euro Cup, which is like that league. It's kind of like EuroLeague, but it's a step down below. Actually, Amari, I think, had ownership in it right after I left, I believe. Yeah, so that was the biggest club I was on, and they were in the Euro Cup, which is, I don't know if it's a FIBA league. I don't think it has anything to do with EuroLeague, but yeah.
Yeah, so, definitely interesting, man. I'm curious to see how this all plays out. And look, Adam Silver has certainly come under fire as of late, but hey, you never know how this whole thing may play out. So October 2027 is when they're looking to do this, and we'll see how it plays out. Every league now is looking to establish their roots on an international level. You're seeing NBA was in Abu Dhabi this past preseason, right?
Well, yeah, that's scary though, right? With like the Abu Dhabi and the Qatars and those type of countries that could just pay somebody who knows how much and just, get them out the league. Like, you could pay top stars hundreds of millions of dollars with some of that money they got. That's like a whole other conversation.
Yeah. So, it's just interesting, the American leagues and their footprint on the international scene. Obviously, NFL, Mexico City, they've got regular season games going on in Brazil. And so that's what I mean when I say every league, every commissioner, they are trying to expand the reach of the league globally for dollars. So when people are like, it's a money grab, what else? What else is there? We live in a capitalistic society. The name of the game is to make money. You know what I mean? Right. So we'll see. As long as the competition and the players themselves come out and represent, it just is what it is.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. I think people don't like the new. Like, nobody liked the NBA Cup in the beginning. Yeah. Now they like the NBA Cup. It'll be the same with this. I think people will enjoy it.
I did. Did you enjoy the Cup this year with the Knicks in it?
I always love the Cup. Yeah, of course. I mean, it was great to see the Knicks win. It was interesting they didn't raise their banner. What were your thoughts on that?
I was good with it.
Okay.
I wasn't with the theatrics, man. I want to see them raise the real banner. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them raise the real banner. When I go to Madison Square Garden, I'm not looking up at banners. I'm looking at the court. I'm looking at the score, and I want to get out of there with a win. When I'm leaving there, I'm not looking at the banners. I'm walking out of there. So, it was a hot topic of debate, but I thought they handled it very well. You bring the fans in, take a picture with the trophy, you celebrate the players, give them a standing ovation. The fans did their part, organization did their part, and I think everybody eats, man. I'm good with it.
Yeah, and everybody made some money, especially those like the 11th, 12th man, those two-way guys, right? I mean, that's a big chunk of change for those guys.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's move on to the number 4 topic of our top 5 NBA stories of 2025, LeBron James combo. With this being his birthday, 41st birthday for the king, as they call him, the self-proclaimed king, depending on who you ask. The haters. He's got a lot of fans. He's got a lot of haters. Opting into his contract with the Lakers, man. The only player to play 23 seasons. 23 seasons, man, for LeBron James. I believe that is the most, isn't it? I got to go in and double check. Isn't that the most?
What is it, Robert Parrish?
Or did the Chief? Did the Chief play more years?
Chief was like playing like when he was 56, right? Like he was playing with the Bulls, mad old, bro.
Yeah, no, it's LeBron, bro. 23rd. Vince, he beat Vince's record in 2023.
Wow. So why do you feel like he opted in now, and all those other years he decided not to?
It's very interesting. You know, I'm just not so sure why that decision was made. Everybody was expecting an opt-out, you know, the whole drama. Am I going to be back? Am I not going to be back? You know, it just kind of seemed like, well, is this going to be the last year for him? Or is he kind of going to just take this year to year where it's like, all right, or is that new drama, new suspense where it's like, okay, now my contract's up. Now what's up? Am I going to go free agency route? Is he going to retire? Is he going to come back to the Lakers? You know, but I thought clearly from the Lakers standpoint, they made it known, like, we're going to play this year to year. You know, we're not going to get in bed and invest in a guy that's over 40. It makes no sense from a business standpoint. Makes no sense from a business standpoint.
He really loves attention, but is that such a bad thing? Is it such a bad thing? But he really does love it, though. He loves the attention.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know, it's just interesting to see where they are. They're fifth in the West right now. I believe they're like 20-10. You got J.J. Redick. He's in the news every day. He's pissed off at the direction of the team. Look, I think for LeBron and the Lakers, him opting in was necessary for them and their championship hopes. But the question is, especially when it gets to the playoffs, will he be enough to get them there? You know, Luka's playing at an MVP level. Austin Reeves has shown that promise. But that whole LeBron dynamic, you know, is Reeves enough to be the second guy is what I'm saying. Because if not, then you're going to have to rely on a 41-year-old LeBron James in the playoffs again.
Yeah, I mean, their defense isn't good enough right now, but I do always feel like this happens every season, right? Like there's drama, and then they end up being okay in the long run. They'll heat up at some point, but I don't think they have enough to win the championship. I mean, you got the Rockets, you got Denver, and obviously you got OKC. Now you got the Spurs looking very legit, beating OKC 3 games in a row. Kind of crazy.
Yeah. You think he gets traded?
Yeah, he's going to Cleveland. You heard it here first.
You think so?
Well, yeah, we're going to clip this up, and it's going to go crazy.
You think LeBron James is going to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, bro. Oh, my goodness.
That's where he's good at. That's where he's going.
Or could it be Golden State? Everybody wants to push him to Golden State now.
Oh, he's trying to stay West Coast?
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's Cleveland, man.
Everyone trying to push him to Golden State. Cleveland would be interesting, but at $52 million.
Are you saying it's impossible? Cleveland's impossible. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I just think contractually, you got to pack guys up, man. You know, and then from the Dan Gilbert standpoint, it's like a 3-time reunion. Is it worth giving up some of these guys?
Brooklyn and the Knicks made a trade. I mean, you know, people make amends.
That would be interesting, man. I don't know. Do you guys see LeBron James getting traded in the chat? Let us know your thoughts in the chat, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Both sides, Knicks Fan TV side, NBA Report side. If you guys are watching on the Knicks Fan TV side, head over to the NBA Report, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Hey, we made it to 100,000 subscribers just last night in 9 years of Knicks Fan TV. This is the NBA Report. Where are we right now? We're in year 2, year 3.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. We're on the journey, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. But I mean, like, how do you think overall with the Lakers competing in the West? You got OKC, obviously. You got Denver. Jokic injury, but he'll be out for 4 weeks. What do you think? Lakers 5th right now in the West.
Yeah, I don't really think they have a chance. I mean, I think it's between the Rockets, OKC, Denver, and then the Spurs are a sleeper, bro, because it's kind of like that Tim Duncan thing where, like, he's obviously your best player, but other players are kind of driving the team when you're talking about Castle and Fox and Harper's their third guard. I mean, these guys are wing-sized players, but they're guards. They're tough, man. They play bully ball. Like, OKC's, they usually bully people, but, like, they were bullying the bullies these past 3 games when they played each other, and they're different, bro. I think there's something to look out for on the East, though, with either Porter or market into Detroit. Can you see those happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a difference maker in the East.
I can see marketing finally getting traded somewhere. Maybe it is a Detroit. You know, maybe it is Detroit. But for the Lakers, as you said, for one, I mean, they're 23rd right now in defense. That ain't getting you no close to no championships. You're not going to be able to stop Wemby. You're not going to be able to stop those boys in San Antonio when they want to out-athlete you, get you out in a track meet. And you're certainly not going to be stopping OKC anytime soon. So that's the thing. Like, at this age of LeBron James, he can't cure all their problems. And their big problems on the defensive side. Losing DFS to me was huge. He's not a end all be all, but losing Dorian Finney-Smith was, to me, very big. And he went to the Rockets for even money.
I wonder if they could find a wing before the trade deadline. I mean, Ayton's been good. Ayton's been really good.
Ayton's played well.
Yeah.
Ayton has definitely played well, but overall, man, I don't see it. With them, it's got to start with the defense. Luka and LeBron and all that brilliance offensively, like, it's not going to help. And that's probably why JJ Redick has been, pulling his hair out as of late with this team, because it just hasn't been clicking for them.
Calling LeBron out a little bit, right?
Yeah. So JJ's doing his best to rally the troops, but I think that's probably why LeBron opted in. He's like, hey, you know what? We're not going to win the championship with this team. Let me get my 50 racks and call it a day before I opt out and have to settle for a little bit. And hey, you never know. Maybe it's a major injury this year that forces him to call it quits at the end of this year. So it wasn't a bad calculation on my book. Get your 50 bands and take it year to year. And it works for the Lakers. Take it year to year. If it works out this year, miracle happens, you get us a chip, maybe we bring you back next year. Or you have a great year, maybe we bring you back next year on a cheaper deal, you play the market, and both sides win.
Yeah, it has been interesting watching him play, because sometimes he plays like a role player now, but it's like one of the greatest role players ever. Like, he can really do everything. Like, he's catching and shooting from the corner, he's picking and rolling, he's playing a little center, he'll create when he has to, but it's just interesting to see him. He's almost like super duper Draymond, who can shoot. Yeah, so it's been fun.
No question. Shout out to Randy Johnson in the chat. Marie, we see you. Zach from L.A. Zach's out in L.A. He's in Laker country. He says, congrats on 100 KFTV. Well done, sir. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Hooper. Mr. Duns, we see you in the chat. Once again, the NBA report rocking on this New Year's Eve, or New Year's Eve, depending on when you are watching. And we are recapping the top 5 stories of the NBA season in 2025. All right, Combo Man, let's get to the next one, and that is Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick for the Dallas Mavericks, man. Cooper Flagg touching down in Dallas amidst a ton of turmoil, but what's been your thoughts on Flagg this year so far, man?
Well, when I saw him play in college, I said, this is what it would look like if LeBron James played college basketball. And people thought I was crazy. And then I got all this feedback in the beginning of the year when they tried the point Cooper thing. That didn't really work out too well. But his rookie wall was like in the beginning of the season, and now he's playing great. And I feel like nobody's talking about it. Like, he's having one of the greatest rookie seasons ever, besides that little blip in the beginning. So, he's playing great. I still think he's a generational talent. A lot of people don't agree with me on that one. How do you feel about him? What do you see his ceiling being?
Look, I think there's still room to grow for him. He's in a tough spot, man. He's in a tough situation. You come into a situation where you immediately have to take over for Luka Doncic. Seems like a pressure cooker situation, but he also seems like a kid with a level head on his shoulders. And he came in. It was up and down but he has settled in, as you said. And without Kyrie and starting the season without AD, he had to assume the LeBron type shoes and put a team on his back. Everybody can't do that. LeBron was truly a generational talent, a savant. Everybody's not built like that, man. That is very challenging. And then on top of that, you got to play the point.
Yeah.
So you got a rookie trying to adjust to the NBA, and on top of that, being thrown into the fire as the de facto floor general for your team. Oh, by the way, they're not all that good. So, that's tough, man. I think he can be a tremendous talent, a multi-year all-star, no question. But new Mavericks regime, they got work to do in terms of building that talent. They have to trade AD now and get what they can for him. I would try to trade Kyrie next. Get what you can for him, and you're rebuilding, man. You're rebuilding. All this in between is not going to help this kid, especially when you're out west. There's no chance.
Who would you look to trade for? I mean, Trae Young. We talked about Lauri Markkanen. I mean, Porter Jr. doesn't really help them at this point. I don't like. Who would you trade for AD? And who could he help at this point would be interesting.
AD. I think AD to Detroit would be a monster move.
That's true.
The Hawks thing they're talking about, the Hawks, I don't see that as really being a big deal. I was high on the Hawks. I was wrong about the Hawks. So I don't at this point, just looking at them, I don't think AD really helps move the needle for them all that much. But Detroit, I think that if he can stay healthy, I think Detroit could definitely make some noise there with AD. But overall, like especially in an AD trade, it's hard to see the Mavs even getting any comparable active player value for him. For me, the best thing the Mavs can look to do is try to get a couple first round picks for Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
You know, where you're rebuilding and you're finding his replacement, or you're finding another floor spacing guard that can play alongside Cooper Flagg, or you know what I mean? Like you already have Lively. We'll see what they do with Gafford. You know, maybe they move on from him. He's at about $17, $18 million multi-year deal, but you got Lively there. He's got to get healthy. He's got to stay healthy. He's another guy that doesn't stay healthy consistently. You know, they have a couple of youngsters, but they got to use AD to try to get back into the draft and really start drafting the future there, man.
Yeah, and but actually looking better with AD and Cooper together. And I heard they want to I'm hearing that they want to move forward with Kyrie. I don't really know why, but I don't think he really fits their timeline. So, yeah, they're just in a weird spot kind of, right? Like they're kind of like stuck in the middle.
Yeah. You know, like with the Flagg situation, I guess the question is, or one of the question is like, can he be an elite shot creator?
Yeah.
I think we got to give him some time, man.
Yeah. I mean,
give him some time to work on his game.
They say that about a lot of people. Like they said that about Halliburton, like he doesn't create his own. They say that about like when that's your thing that is your weakness or your improvement area, they tend to like underrate the ability to improve upon that. Like I think the athleticism and the feel for the game and all that kind of stuff is harder to teach than creating your own shot. I mean, you know, go see Drew Hanlon. He'll get you. You see what he did with Beal and Tatum and all those guys. Shout to Drew, man. He could get you in your bag.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, shout out to Drew Hanlon. Maybe Brickley. You know, Brickley's got all the Knicks cracking. He's got Kolek in his bag, in his camp. He's got Clarkson. Brunson is going through the Brickley camp.
We were, me and you, actually, I got an old clip somewhere. We were high on Kolek. I was starting to get concerned, though, for a little bit. But now we're back.
We're back, man. So Cooper Flagg, he had the 42-point game against the Jazz, 35-point game against the Clippers, 22-5-8 against the Nets, 23-10-4 against the Pistons. He can get it cracking, man. 33-9-9 against Denver. 27 on Golden State. Like this guy's gonna get buckets, man. He just needs the team around him. I think he's gonna be fine, man.
It's almost going under the radar how well he's playing lately, right? Like nobody's even talking about it.
Yeah,
I mean it's a great rookie class with him and Concanupal and Derek Queen and VJ. I mean, this is a crazy rookie class. It's gonna be interesting to see these guys' careers and how it moves forward.
Yeah, my guy Armand Dutta. Yeah, no patience anymore. We got to stay patient with these young guys. A guy like that, you need the guys to take pressure off you. You know, when AD came, things got better. When Kyrie comes, if they're still going to be all together, they'll be much, much better.
Yeah, I remember like in Summer League, Wemby had one bad game and they were calling him a bust, bro.
I was there. We were there.
Yo, bro, I'm like, come on.
We were there.
Are you guys serious?
That first game, and he was getting pushed around. It was like, oh, what's going on? And then the second game, it was just like, oh, okay, now we see what's going on here. So, I think it's the same thing with Cooper Flagg. But make no mistake, one of the top stories of 2025. And we're going to get to that other Dallas story that's kind of connected to this. We could get to that next, man, because you don't get the Cooper Flagg era unless you trade Luka Doncic, and how interesting that the Mavs are able to come out of that turmoil in a way and still land the number one pick. I don't know, that's kind of like frozen. I'm not much of a conspiracy guy, but that's kind of frozen envelope to me. That kind of, I had to put the tinfoil kufi on for that one, man. Like, what's going on here, bro? What's going on here? How these guys do that? And then they get the number 1 pick. That was a little shiesty to me, man. A little shiesty.
I mean, LeBron to Cleveland, like that was kind of like hometown vibes. Yeah. Wemby, I mean, they always been like the international team. He goes there. Luka gets traded, and now, you know, Cooper's here. Like, it's all Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. It's just like all like how does this all happen so perfectly? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not questioning the Ewing thing, but everything else is sus, man. You know? But
right.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. I think we did shows on that too when it first went down. Luka to the Lakers for AD and Max Christie.
That was crazy.
What's his name? Nico. Ultimately, the fire Nico. I mean, they literally were gonna kill that guy. You know what I'm saying? In Dallas, he ends up getting fired, put out of his misery. But I mean, talk about it, man. Probably the biggest story of 2025. Yeah. I just wanted to go in that order when we talked about Cooper Flagg, man. But that was definitely the biggest one.
Charlie Munger once said, minimize bad decisions. That was just a terrible decision. I don't think anybody else in the world would have made that decision. I mean, Luka Doncic leading the league in the NBA right now. He's been 38-8 his whole career. We were talking about EuroLeague. He was EuroLeague MVP at like 17. I don't understand why you would trade that guy unless you have some sort of, I don't know anything. I mean, I don't have inside information, but there must have been some kind of like personal issue. That's the only thing I could think of because it made no sense to trade Luka Doncic.
I think it was personal. It was personal between Nico and Luka and Luka's camp. And I think, you know, this was a classic case of ego kills all man. Ego's the downfall of all man. And I think this was a case where the relationship had been so strained and so sour that Nico said, you know what? I'm going to make an example out of this guy. I'm going to prove that I'm smarter than everybody else because I've had some success, and a lot of failures. And he probably pitched it to ownership in Patrick Dumont and the Lady Adelson and said, you know what? I'm going to save you guys a ton of money. Don't max this guy out. He's not committed. Let's move forward. And they say, hey, you know what? We're going to save $1. Let's do it. Because you cannot have this trade executed without the sign-off and the endorsement of the people that cut the checks. They were in on it, and they agreed. So Nico's the fall guy for this, but ownership is right there in that same barrel with him, if you ask me, man. As morons. Complete morons, bro.
I don't understand how you do it, man. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Why are you in the business of being a governor of an NBA team if you're trying to save money? I mean, that's not why you become that.
Yeah.
You want to have the reason to become that is to have a great NBA team, not to save money. And when you have one of those ones going into his prime and trading him for a star that's aging, that's not even as good as him in his prime. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was just one of the worst trades in NBA history. But it looks like it's going to come out okay with the Cooper Flagg thing. But that doesn't make it any less terrible. You know, it's just terrible.
Well, what was interesting to me, it is the worst trade in NBA history. But what was interesting was that you reset the Mavs timeline. So you took them out of the championship window. And in a way, we talked about the Lakers earlier, you extended their championship window. In a way, we'll see what happens this year and we'll see what happens beyond. But with Luka at the helm, and now you still have Austin Reeves, you got JJ as the coach, you can technically say that they will be trying to compete for this foreseeable future. They're not necessarily rebuilding. But for the Mavs, you went from being in the finals just 2 years ago to now literally just in a snap, you're back to square one. With the number 1 pick, of course, but you're back to square one. Insane, bro.
I guess it's worse than square one when you're talking about like public perception, right? And what's going on there with the fans and like just the fire Nico stuff, which is finally gone. But man, they really set that franchise back, even with the Cooper stuff. Like, they really set the franchise back with that move for years and years and years. Because Cooper's not ready right now to win you an NBA championship or even compete. So, yeah, I mean, they could have been competing this year, next year, the year after, and then You probably lose money, right? Because of how the fans, like, it was tough for them to sell season tickets. I mean, yeah, it was just a whole mess.
And then how about the Cuban thing lurking? And Cuban came out later on like, oh man, they didn't involve me, and if it was up to me, I would have never done this. And Cuban probably threw the knife at Nico's back, man. Cuban probably got Nico axed. He probably went to ownership because he's not the majority owner anymore. He probably went to Dumont and them and say, hey, you guys got to get this guy out of here, man. You got to get this guy out of here, man.
Well, I don't know if you could consider that an axe in his back because he was going to get fired eventually no matter what. Well,
that's true.
Right?
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You just set the clock. Why not just take it easy, Nico? Don't do anything crazy. You have a good job. Don't do anything crazy, Nico. Like, that's what I'd be telling him.
That was malpractice, bro.
Yes, that's the right word.
That was malpractice. Like, how could I, as a season ticket holder, you going in there, you seen this guy killing your team, just went to the NBA Finals. You trying to figure out what are the tweaks that we need to make. What are the tweaks that my team needs to make? Oh, yeah, want me to renew? Okay, here's the check. And I really want to hear that conversation between him and the Lakers. Hey, we want to trade you Luka. Yeah, Pelinka. Hey, we want to trade you Luka. Pelinka's like, what is April 1st? Like, what's going on? Bro, and the insult to injury was like AD got hurt the first game.
and the funny thing was, bro, the climax, he was destroying everybody that game.
Destroying everybody, and then it all went to shit. He gets hurt, and everybody's like, oh my God. Bro, you cannot make it up.
No, that's not even a movie. Like, you could not make it up.
You cannot make it up.
Yeah.
And so here it is again. The groin injury, the calf, the typical AD issues.
Bro, 13. I heard something today, 13 groin injuries in his career.
That's wild.
He's been out 13 times from groin injuries.
That is crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
Unreal.
You probably, I know he makes a lot of money playing basketball, but if you have 13 groin injuries playing basketball, you probably shouldn't be playing basketball anymore.
Yeah. But see, the thing is why this is malpractice is because, again, they're going to have to trade him for a less than optimal package because of his injury history. So now that return for Anthony Davis is going to make the entire Luka trade literally pennies. Literally pennies that you traded him for.
You need a team that really, really wants to win a championship, and AD really, like, it's had to be like it's niche. Not everybody's gonna want this guy. It's maybe like one or two teams.
No,
Yeah, I don't know. Detroit and who else? I think
know. Detroit would be a good one. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head.
Like Miami, they already like for Khalil Ware. They're not gonna win now, right?
Yeah. I don't know if Miami would go AD Bam. Would Boston make a move? Would be interesting.
We need to have a Jaylen Brown conversation too. That guy was always their best player, bro.
He was always their dog, for sure.
Yep.
He was always their dog.
That's all I say.
Would Boston make a move?
That'd be scary though. That'd be scary for the East.
That would be very, especially if they talk about Tatum coming back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it was weird with that. Like first he wasn't coming back, then he might, then he was, and it's like I don't know. But if they get an AD, man, that could be scary because the way Brown is playing now, I mean, and they're number one offense for like a good chunk of time. That shores up the defense,
right?
You know,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, those are the two teams really. Just I'm thinking off the top of the dome, like in the East. I'm talking about like guys that are like teams that are like borderline contender, but right there, Detroit, maybe Boston. I look at those two guys.
Yeah.
But again, if you put everything in its totality, for where Luka is right now, number 3 on the MVP ladder,
it's crazy, man.
It's embarrassing, bro.
Look, even if you never win a championship with Luka, it's a terrible business decision. Like terrible. Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of job Nico Harrison is looking for after this. It certainly won't be in any NBA front office. Maybe he goes back. Maybe he goes back to Nike or something. Under Armour. Maybe he gets into college, get into some NILs or something. Maybe a little bit easier. But damn, talk about career suicide. And in the press conference, he's like, yeah, I probably won't be here. So why the hell would you make that team? Makes no sense, bro.
Bro, all he was saying when they made the trade, defense wins championships. That was his defense wins championships. That was his explanation.
So do healthy players. so do actual players that play. But long live Nico. Good luck in your next endeavors. Yeah, luck, man. Nico. That's it. Last story, top 5, 2025, man. The Oklahoma City Thunder win the chip in a Game 7 matchup. And, that series, I don't know if anybody thought it was going to go 7. Did you think it was going to go 7? To me, that series turned out to be an entertaining, good series to me, even though OKC won it.
One of the most underrated what-ifs in NBA history. What if Halliburton doesn't go down?
It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because
I think Pacers win, bro. Pacers win. To me, he was so comfortable. Like, he wasn't even shooting the ball like that for the beginning part of that series, even though he did hit a game winner. He was just too comfortable, bro. And then once he gets comfortable like that as a shooter, everything else opens up. I think they win that game, man. I think they win that game.
That would have been insane had they done so, because as I said, I don't think anybody, maybe some picked the Pacers, especially after the run that they had and the way that they finished the regular season and went into the playoffs and really just, smacked guys around, smacked the Bucks around, smacked the Cavs around. I hate to say it, smacked the Knicks around a little bit again, two seasons in a row. Hate to really admit that, but it would have been interesting because the one thing that the Pacers showed was that, number one, their depth was able to match OKC in terms of firepower. And once the Pacers stopped turning the ball over, it became a much more even series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Halliburton playing at a crazy level, and then Siakam as well. Nesmith. Yeah. Mathurin off the bench. Mathurin was killing. TJ McConnell off the bench. He was taking it to him.
And they were all very comfortable. And they gave the league a unique look, just how fast they played. I mean, Tyrese is such a unique, and he plays with a unique cadence. And then Pascal, one of the most underrated players in the NBA, as you were just saying. Yeah, I think they just caught the league. Styles make fights. They just caught the league by surprise the way they played basketball. It was just so different. And now teams are kind of copying it. I think a lot of this pace is because of what Rick Carlisle and the Pacers did. I mean, Rick is a basketball genius, bro. He sees what he has, and he'll adapt. He'll adapt, and that's what he did with the Pacers.
And I thought this win for OKC was really a signal and an ushering in, if you will, officially of the second apron era. Because if you think about it, right after this, the last quote-unquote, if you want to call Boston a quote-unquote super team, in a way that the way that they were able to pair Brown and Tatum with getting Porzingis, getting Holiday in there, they kind of became a super team in a way. Not to say that they were signing this guy, signing superstar, but they became a dominant team through the additions, through their acquisitions, but it wasn't sustainable, and they had to break that up. And so now you look around the league, Cleveland is next on that second apron. How long are they going to keep that team around? The Knicks are creeping up on that second apron. They got a couple more years in that window, but after that, what do you do? And so now OKC is here. They already made their big splash trade, which was a highway robbery fleecing of the Clippers to get the future MVP, and they got their face of the franchise literally through highway robbery. And through years and years of being bad, and whether you want to call it tanking or not, was able to build that team around him with more to go in the future. Potentially 2 more lottery picks this year. So in that era, their cap sheet is great. They gave all their 3 stars the bag. And now it can just be, hey, swap this guy out. Okay, Casey Wallace, you're probably not going to make it here long term. We got AJ Mitchell. Right? Hartenstein, if you don't shake out, they got Hartenstein to a 2-year deal. They drafted the kid from Georgetown. Now he got hurt. He didn't play. He hasn't played this year. But now they can just use their draft picks and their extended bench depth to just move up. We don't gotta pay. We invested all of our chunk of change in these 3 young players in their prime. And now we just got to tinker around with the bevy of draft picks that they have. Incredible.
Does it get you excited as the biggest Knicks fan in the world to see them lose 3 times in a row to Spurs? Does it makes them feel a little more beatable, right? Have you moved off your priors at all when it comes to your opinion about OKC being this dominant force?
No, never changed because the games still have to be played. Every year is a different year. The games have to be played. You have to win a series. How this team looks in December, how the Knicks look in December, is not how they will look in June. You don't know. Yeah. One team can be better. The other team can be worse. Knock on wood, both teams stay healthy, but that can also change things.
You got to put yourself in position, too. Like, I just said biggest what if and most underrated what if. But, OKC put themselves in position, just like Boston did every year. Like, we're just going to keep knocking at the door, keep knocking at the door. With the Knicks last year, the last 2 years, a little bit further, further. You got to just keep knocking at the door. And, it is a lot of luck, too. It is a lot. It's skill and
luck and
all that
man.
stuff. Yeah, it's all that stuff.
Got to get lucky. But, how about Shea, man? Is Shea your MVP this year?
Nah, Jokic, man. Well, he's hurt now.
4 weeks. 4 weeks.
I think Cade
still doesn't change, does it?
I like Cade over SGA, but
Oh, you're bugging out, bro. You're bugging out. I'm not even taking Cade over Brunson, bro. You're bugging out. Who's number 4 on the ladder? Number 4 on the ladder.
We're not doing this right now, CP. We've had plenty of posts, Cade and Brunson posts.
Listen,
but CP, you got to admit Cade's a more complete player. Defends better, passes better.
Then who?
Brunson.
What about SGA?
Both of those too. I think he's better.
I don't think SGA's defense is bad.
It's overrated. It's better this year, actually, which is fair.
I think he's more than serviceable defensively. I think he's more than serviceable defensively.
I like the way Cade puts people in position. Like, I don't know. I just like that playmaking.
Give me SGA.
And he's averaging close to 30, and his team has the best record in the East.
For now.
And I also think both Brunson and SGA have a way better supporting cast.
Sure. But who gets busy in crunch time? Brunson and SGA.
Cade has been good this year in crunch time.
He's been all right. Let's look at the numbers. He's been all right, man. He's been all right.
I don't know, man. I think people are underrated this guy a little bit.
Let me see something here, man. Let's see what's going on in the clutch this year. Number 1 in the clutch this year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 7.7 clutch points per game. Now, he's been in 13 clutch games. So is the Joker. 7.7 points per game in the clutch. Joker, 6.2. Okay, Cade, 5.4. Where's Captain Clutch at on this list? Where's he at? I don't think the Knicks have had that many clutch opportunities here. Well, let me see where Brunson is at here. He's not even. Let me see where Cap is at here. Hang on. If we go to
all right, do you feel like it's close between Cade and Brunson?
No, you got to win to be close.
Come on, CP.
You got to win, man. You got to win. Right now in the clutch, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 100 clutch points. Cade has 98. Brunson's not here this year, man. He's not here. He got hurt, so he won't be in those totals. He missed a couple of games to give those guys a heads up. Oh, he has 33. 33 points in the clutch this year in 13 games in the clutch. And the Knicks record, his record in the clutch, Brunson is 8-5. Cade he's played 18 games in the clutch. 12-6. So he's going to have more. He is going to have more points. Now let's go to the averages once more. I think I did say he's at 5.4. And Cap in the clutch is, where is he at here? 2.5. All right. 2.5. He's up there this year. He's up there this year. But I'm taking SGA even still, man. I'm taking SGA, man.
Okay. Jaylen Brown in the conversation?
For what?
MVP?
He deserves some accolades where Boston is at right now. I can't hate. I can't hate on that. Jaylen Brown deserves credit. He does.
Wemby, if he would have stayed healthy the whole year, you'd be in it too.
Wemby would be in it.
Yeah, because it's like there's some guys better offensively than him, but what he does on defense just changes everything.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, man. Knicks versus Spurs is going to be a good one, and then the Knicks don't see the Thunder until March. Let me see.
That's going to be interesting.
I think they see them twice in March. Knicks, Thunder, March 4th, at the Garden, March 29th in OKC.
Knicks got a chance, bro, a good chance to win the East, and then anything could happen.
No better chance in this year.
Yeah.
No better chance in this year. Got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Do you see the OKC dynasty thing, or do you think it's open? It's wide open.
I never believed in them like everybody else is, even though they want to. I think they're frauds, bro. I'm just like, first of all, they let you hack everybody, and then you can't touch SGA. The refs let them. They just hack. Once you go over half court,
they're very aggressive. They
pressure you, so you obviously you can't go back court, so they press you, and then they just hack. Like Caruso and Dort hack you, and then Case and Wallace, and then you can't touch SGA. I mean, they're bullying people. Like, they got all that nice guy energy after the game. Like, let's hang out. When they won an NBA championship, I don't know. They were probably on TikTok, or I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
they
weren't.
They weren't. Were they popping? I don't even know if they hardly popped any bottles. They're one and done. It's over.
Look, the way the Spurs have been handling them, they will have their hands full. They're gonna have their hands full out west, regardless. Between Spurs, Denver, Houston, not gonna be equal.
I want to see Spurs versus Knicks. That'd be so fascinating. Because you have Wemby, he's probably the most box office guy to anybody, and then you got New York. Who doesn't want New York in the finals? That would just be fascinating. I would love that. I haven't been that excited for that, that NBA Cup game. I was actually at the KnicksFanTV party. I was so excited for that because Wemby is just so different, and then the Knicks, and I want to see that as the finals. That'd be a cool finals.
Absolutely. Definitely want to see that in the finals. And hey, man, we're almost there. Then we're almost there as we enter into 2026.
Yeah, man. Crazy. 2026. Who would have thought?
Unreal, man. But good show, my guy.
Always,
great show, man. Definitely chopped it up. The top 5 stories of 2025. What are you guys thinking? Oh, man, leave some comments. Like, share, and subscribe. What do you guys think about our top 5? Is there another one? Is there one that we missed? What do you guys think? Leave us some comments in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on the NBA Report. Like, share, and subscribe on the NBA Report. Everybody on the KFTV simulcast, salute to you guys. I will see you guys later on tonight for Knicks versus Spurs preview, Game of the Week preview. So that's going to be a good one. Combo, tell them about where they can find you, man.
1-2 Combo on Instagram. A lot of collaborations with KnicksFanTV. Always appreciate you UCP for that. Combo's Court, wherever you listen to pods, you could actually catch Combo's Court YouTube videos on Cameron's Your Welcome Network. So I got to get CP on that for sure.
Yeah,
so we got to do that. We got to do that in studio, and yeah, man, just Combo's Court wherever you listen to podcasts, bro. Thanks for having me. It's always great talking basketball with you.
Absolutely, man. Salute to the replay gang. Remember that these shows are available in audio podcast format on the NBA Report podcast platforms. So like I said, make sure you guys are heading over to NBA Report, subscribing, and the podcast links will be there as well. And for the KFTV side, we will see you guys later on, man. Have a good new year, everybody. Health and happiness as always, man. Peace and prosperity.